everyone, and welcome to Project Happy Hour. We're so glad that you can join us to take a break, to check out of work and check in just to hang with us and talk a little bit about themes related to any type of Microsoft products or project management. So my name is Ray Cecily. I'm your host, and don't forget to grab your drink now if you don't already have one. Since it is Project Happy Hour, we definitely want you to have a drink with us. So if this is the first time for joining us, you can always check our Prosperi YouTube channel to watch our previous episodes. Basically, like I said, this is our opportunity just to provide you with just a moment to just hang out with us and talk a little bit about informal but professional topics in a fun setting. So I just want to explain, if it is your first time, how this works. So we're going to ask some questions to our panelists, and throughout the episode, there will be a hot word, and their goal is to, as they're drinking, to not be saying this hot word. However, every time that they say this hot word, this will be $1 that we will add to our total tally to donate to the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. So it's really important for us that we're an international company to be able to donate to the WHO and the amazing efforts that they're making to find a vaccine for COVID, because obviously it's affecting all of us, because we want to be able to have a real happy hour at some point in person. So let's meet our panelists first. I want to introduce to you Andre Tiberio, who's from Prosperi. And then we have a new face today. So we have Jen Simon, who's a project specialist with Microsoft with us. How's it going, guys?
It's going
Hello,
great.
Ray.
Hello.
Doing
Good.
great. Yeah.
Doing great, doing great. So tell me, what are you guys drinking?
So I'm drinking a red wine from Chile. It's called 120.
Okay, I love a good, if I don't do red wines from the US, from California or Oregon, it's Chilean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chile's got some really good red wines. Awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep. And I sadly have to drive in a little bit, so I'm drinking water out of my project mug. But on a
Oh, look
normal
at
day,
you.
I would be drinking some Chardonnay because red wine doesn't like me anymore. So,
Well, at least you're being a safe driver. That's really important. So I'm glad that you did that. Good choice. Good choice. And
And Ray, what are you drinking?
I'm having it's a little The Prisoner. So it's a good Napa cab. I'm definitely a big fan. So, and we have this cool thing called the Corvin. So my bottle's actually still sealed, but you can see that half the bottle's drink. So if you've ever heard of the Corvin, it's a pretty cool thing where you can just extract one glass of wine out, because that's all I plan on drinking today. But interesting, right? So anyways, well, I'm glad that we were all together. Thanks for being a part of this. And are you guys interested to see what the hot word is?
Oh my God, let's
Yes.
check it out.
Okay, so today's hot word is Teams. Yeah, good luck with that one. So our theme today, everyone, is we're talking about Microsoft Teams and this amazing app that the world has quickly adopted, who wasn't already on it before. So obviously it's going to be very hard for our panelists to not say the word Teams, but they're going to try. So let's start with our first question. So within Microsoft Teams, what are some of your favorite apps that you've pinned, and why do you love them? Whoever can start can start. Whoever's that zealous about an app.
You can go first, Jen.
Sure. Okay. So it's interesting because I work in project management in Microsoft, and actually the number one downloaded app on Teams is Planner. And I actually have downloaded Planner myself, and I use it to keep myself organized. And I know that I can go
Guilty.
through To-Do and Teams and that, but I really like Planner. I like how it goes, and I like the Kanban board, and it tells me what I need to do, and makes me feel happy when I check things off that list at the end of the day. So, yeah, Planner would be my personal number one app. What about you, Andre?
Yeah, I would say that I use Planner a lot too, and to see what tasks I am assigned into, and to move one card from bucket to another and to have them completed. But uh, another one that I use a lot is OneNote. So instead of having the desktop application open, I just use it as a pinned tab from Teams.
Interesting. I don't think I knew that OneNote was in there. I need to move mine into there. That's so much easier. I use Planner in there. Totally guilty of that. And I love with Planner that you can like assign tasks to people and kind of like tag them in it just to keep them up to date on what's going on, and that you can like organize it, the Kanban board, as you want. Like I've seen my colleague has hers organized by like category. I've got mine organized by people and what tasks I have with certain people, and what's pending, and obviously my tasks as well. Awesome. Are there any other ones that particularly stand out to you guys? Are those your favorites?
Oh, go ahead, Andre.
Okay. Of course, there's the usual ones like the feed. I mean, I use in Portuguese, but I think the first one you called feed or activity because where you can see notifications, right? And chat, Teams, schedule, files. These are the default ones, and I love them.
Yeah. I think also as well, I'll do a shameless plug here, no problem. I love our internal Teams Ideas app, which you can actually download from the App Store. And that's obviously 100% for free for an unlimited amount of users. And that's our ideation platform. So we can share different challenges within our organization, and then people can share ideas and collaborate, like, comment. So I definitely like that one because it's great because it's within Teams. And obviously, whenever we're talking to people about it, they're like, oh, it's accessible within the web browser, but also within Teams. And nowadays, everyone likes to keep everything within Teams. So I definitely like that one too because I use it a lot.
I do.
But
Well, and
yeah.
that's such a great point because as I'm talking to multiple customers every single day, something they all want to talk about is ideation. And they want to do that in teams with their whole company, not just with the small groups that they work with. So as we think about diversity and inclusion, that's really a way to be more inclusive of your entire organization because you can get ideas from everywhere.
Yep. And with everyone remote, it's a great way just to connect everyone, to be able to, collaborate together from different workspaces. And obviously, I'm collaborating with my team in Brazil, and we don't all have to be together, so it's really great.
Yep. And with the change of our fiscal year, I took a manufacturing position with Microsoft. We've created a manufacturing vertical, so people will start hearing about that shortly. But I now have a national team with many international customers. So it's kind of handy that I can come up to my home office, turn on Teams, and I can talk to people all across the world. Well, clearly we're doing that today because Andre's in Brazil.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love it. I think we've said the hot word like 30 times now. Sorry, Leo.
This is the episode we are going
We'll
to
drink.
donate the most.
Yeah.
I'll help if I
Awesome.
need to.
And mind you, of course, we just highlighted a few of the basic apps that are out there. There are hundreds. There's a plethora of amazing apps out there. Teams has so many things available. So make sure you go to where it says apps on the bottom left of your screen, go down there, search, type in a keyword of something that you're looking for, and see what's available out there because there's a lot of great apps out there that are for free. So connect and work with I won't say it, your group. So, so let's move on to Tell Meme About It. Oh, I love this one. I love this one. You always see Oprah, so she's always giving it out. You giving it out. You get a group meeting. You get a group meeting. Everyone gets a group meeting. So yeah, I love that. And that's exactly, ever since I've been on Teams, everything is a meeting on there or a call. It's just so easy. And you don't have to get a code. I can't stand when I get like a Zoom meeting invite. I'm not going to lie, it kind of irks me a little bit. I'm like, can I send the meeting invite? I'll send you a Teams invite.
I am the classic person to goof up the Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, everybody thinks it's hysterical that I work for Microsoft and I don't know how to work Zoom. My children especially think that's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, with how easy they've made it, everyone gets a meeting. So I love it. That's great. Okay, let's go on to our next question. So how do you use Teams as a collaborative tool? And maybe Jen, I'll start with you on this one, like especially with connecting with your other project specialist colleagues. How do you use this?
Sure, absolutely. Well, and I'll actually go back in history a little bit and I'll tell you how we even got to Microsoft because Teams is actually a part of the story.
Oh, cool.
So when I was at a staffing recruiting firm prior to Microsoft, and I had to do a giant request for proposal, and I had to get information from Texas and India and all over the place, and it was like 100-page proposal. It was crazy. So I was trying to figure it out. We were a Microsoft shop, and I couldn't find a collaboration tool. And I thought, oh my gosh, Microsoft has to have something like Google Docs. They just have to. It's Microsoft. And sure enough, I did a little digging and found Teams. And I walked down to our admin, our office admin for Microsoft, and he got so excited because he had wanted somebody to try it out. Nobody was willing to try it out. And I was like, oh, well, I'm totally going to use this. So I didn't use it for voice or, true collaboration like we do now, but I was able to get all of that information in one place. People were editing at the same time. It got done 2 days early because of it, because I was freaking out about the timeline. So we got to get it done. And we got it in there. And sure enough, that was my first foray into Teams. And once I came to Microsoft and realized the actual power of it, oh my gosh, you can do so much with it. I'm contacting, well, quite frankly, I have my notifications turned off right now, or I'd be getting notifications every 2 seconds from people. And especially in my role as a project specialist, I work with many customers where other sellers at Microsoft will only work with a few customers. So I really have to keep all of my customers straight. And Teams is such an amazing way to do that. There's a team set up for each and every one of my customers. I can organize it how I can find things. And if I ever need anything, I don't have to go hunting for it. I just go to Teams and go to the team, and it's in the files and it's there for me. And you can get that information so much quicker, so much faster, so much easier without tons of headaches. If I have to search my email, I honestly would rather poke my eye out.
Yeah, it's an amazing collaborative tool, that's for sure. It definitely is. And I just laughed. I laughed a little bit whenever you said I walked down to the admin's office because I'm like, you don't do that anymore. Those days are gone.
No,
Walking
you
down to the
don't.
office. Now
No,
you use Teams.
exactly. Now, if I need somebody, I'm pinging them relentlessly until they get on a call with me.
Yep, for sure. For sure. That's
It
great. I
helps
love
when your
that
managers
though.
are busy too.
Yeah, I love that. Andre, what about you? How do you use Teams as a collaborative tool?
Well, me personally, I started using Microsoft Teams as a replacement for Skype for Business. So, and once I found out the differences, I was astonished because I had a lot difficulties finding messages in Skype for Business. I have to look the whole history, chat by chat, and it was very difficult. In Teams, we have a very good search mechanism. We have very good voice calls, and we can share screen, and we can at the same time we can see the mouse cursor of each other, and it helps so much. And then once I started to get a feeling of how groups work and how you can organize things like in such a better way, I think I cannot go back from Teams anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely agree with that. And talking about like seeing their cursor, like being able to screen share, I remember having to like have a totally separate tool for that. And then you'd have to like log in with your IP address and then get like, it was just too much. Yeah. And one of my favorite ways too is I was speaking with a colleague the other day and she sent me a document and she was like, hey, can you edit this or take a look at it to review it? I'm sure. I opened it up. I did whatever I needed to do. And then all of a sudden I wrote her a message back. I go, okay, it's all set. And she goes, can you send me the file back? I go, I don't need to. It's already like within our chat, that file that I opened, everything's already active with the edits. And she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that. And I'm like, It's so much easier than sending a file over email, saving it to your computer, doing the edits, then sending another email, reattaching it. Like for me, that's one of the best collaborative tools is to edit documents. Like you said in there, Jen, you can like edit together. But like within a chat, the fact that I didn't even have to save the file again and resend it, that was definitely a huge win. She was definitely very shocked. She was like, this is amazing. I'm like, I know, I love Teams. I love Teams.
Well, and it was kind of funny at the beginning of COVID, where, you know, everybody gets nervous about your business when something like this happens, right? Because, oh my gosh, everybody is not working and what's going on. Well, one thing I'm super proud of Microsoft for is that the fact that we had Teams and we opened it up to so many people. There were weeks, I mean, the numbers were just astonishing with how many people we were going on, and the platform didn't crash. It was completely amazing. So but as COVID happened, everybody realized they no longer want to send Excel files back and forth for project management. And suddenly I got super busy because people are just like, oh my gosh, we have to figure something out. We need to do something. And that's where you really realize the collaboration that Microsoft is building in all across our stack.
Yeah.
And that way, just making life easier. And you can go on to Teams and be on one platform and not have to leave it. I mean, I open it up in the morning and I almost don't ever leave it.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can do everything all in one single tool. That's, yeah. Sometimes I don't even leave. The only thing we need is our emails within Teams. That would be great. But then you
Right.
probably get way too many notifications.
Oh, yeah, that would be a nightmare. The email's the thing you can forget about, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's move on to tell Meme about it. All right, let's see it. Oh, this just what I was talking about. If you could put that Microsoft Teams, that'd be great. So when I have people that send me a file, I'm like, can you just put that in Teams? Like that would be great. Or when I get a Zoom meeting, I'm like, can you just put that in Teams? That'd be really great. I love this one.
Yeah.
I know you guys feel the same. Once you're a Teams advocate, you feel this way. That would be great.
Stop sending me emails.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Okay, so our next question is, what's the difference between a SharePoint site and a team, and why do they both still exist? Whoever wants to start.
Yeah,
Sure.
let me start with this one, okay?
Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
So I think they have a relation between each other, and they are both collaboration platforms. So when you create a Microsoft team, it automatically creates a SharePoint team site. So when you upload files to this team, it goes automatically to this SharePoint site, and it's stored there. So if you accidentally erase some file from Teams, you can access SharePoint and recover it, for example. But comparing them as collaboration platforms, I would say Microsoft Teams is more dynamic than SharePoint.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Most of our customers use it for document storage, some sharing in a smaller form. You know, it's a smaller group who needs to access it. You probably only want to give access to certain people. Where Teams, you can put it in Teams, and then you can do role-based activation. So they can, you know, let's say Microsoft Project's actually a great example with view-only rights rolling out right now. So anybody with an Office 365 license can go in and view projects in Teams so they can see what's going on in Teams, but then they won't be able to update it or change it, or, as one of my colleagues says, mess up his work. So but that's where, you know, SharePoint's a repository for saving things, storing things in a smaller fashion if you're going to share them. So it's some collaboration, but you really get your full experience within actual Teams.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we can't say Teams is perfect. I've definitely had my Teams freeze sometimes, and I haven't been able to access it. And when I need something, I can go to SharePoint and get that there and recover that document immediately. Like if I need it for a meeting and I don't have time for Teams to reboot itself. So, and going on with that. So, do you think SharePoint will always exist? because they kind of are codependent, not
They are.
codependent, but they cohesively work together.
Yep. I don't really, well, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be a futurist for Microsoft on that one. I'm not really sure what our plans are wholeheartedly for SharePoint, but I don't think it's going to go away totally. I think there's always going to be a need for smaller room collaboration and document storage and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And you don't want all of that in Teams. I mean, really, I think using them in a hybrid form would be your best source.
Yeah,
And we
that makes sense.
and we do have a lot of legacy systems built into in SharePoint, so it will take a
Mhm.
lot of time for them all to migrate to a different platform.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah, well, and as a matter of fact, Project Online is built on SharePoint.
Yeah.
So there's a number of, I mean, and then if you think of our customers and how many apps they've created in SharePoint, it would probably take us 20 years to convert
Wow.
people over to something else. But it is all cloud. So it's all in the cloud. So it still helps with digital transformation and the cloud story, and you still don't have to worry about storage. And that's really the benefit of it, is you can have unlimited storage if you have the right licensing. So it's there if you need it, and then Teams is there to collaborate.
Well, love it. Love it. And I love how they do work together so that, you always have one with the other. And yeah, I think it's great. I love both of them. So we got to have both. Got to have both.
Yep. Yep. Well, and the motto for the last couple of years has been work the way you want, get the results you need. And that's really the true story of that is, if it's better to work in Teams, that's where you should be. If it's better to work in SharePoint, that's where you should be. Just
Yeah.
work where you're comfortable, work where you want, and then you'll get the results from either side.
Yeah. Perfect. Great explanation. I love it. I think you guys made it both really clear. Great question. I love that. That was a good question. Let's move on to tell Meme about it. Oh, I think this one is great. For anyone who already had teams before, we need to start calling it groups. We're gonna be paying a lot. For anyone who had this amazing app before companies adopted it for free, they will know that even though with lockdown, yeah, there's no time to rest. And I think the purpose of the driver of this meme is because it's such a good collaborative tool. This is why you never have time to rest, because it's such a great tool. You're using it for everything.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and good thing, with as much as everybody is working, I mean, it's kind of like you'd think, oh, we're all working from home, it won't be as busy, but I don't know about your world, but mine has been way busier.
Slam.
And my days are longer, and I have I have zero time in between meetings, so it's just been crazy.
Yep. Teams,
You
definitely.
realize,
There's no time to rest.
yeah, you realize how much
Exactly.
you are linked to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Well, and I've been thankful for it because, quite frankly, I miss going into the physical office. I miss just the random people I would meet at the office from all different parts of our organization. And I would run into friends all the time there because they would be there for one reason or another for user groups. And I'm really missing it, but it doesn't look like we're going back until the end of January.
Yeah.
So we're going to just be happy at home for a long time.
Keep rocking those pajamas from the bottom down. Oh, that's funny. Let's ask our next question. So, aside from chatting and file sharing, what features does Teams offer that many don't know about? So, what are the different functionalities and features that you guys love to use?
Well, I would say one thing I would like to point out, one thing that we already have said, that multiple people can simultaneously edit a document. So this is a great feature. This
I
is
think,
one I
yeah.
would like, and I have a lot of points to say in this question. I
You
I
got them
meant,
coming in your head. They're just
yeah,
filtering in. Okay,
yeah.
we'll pass it to Jen while you organize your thoughts in your head.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, the one thing I love about it is I can set up meetings on the fly.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot where, okay, I have a half hour, I really need to talk to this person. You can send them an IM and say, hey, are you free? You know they're free because you can see their schedule. and then we can jump on a meeting super quick and accomplish whatever we're trying to do. And yeah, it just makes things go so much faster. Otherwise, you're waiting a day, you're hoping they're going to check that email and answer you. And probably you need the answer long before you're going to send it over. So, yeah, it's just, it makes it go so much faster, and working on the fly is much easier.
Yeah, for sure. Andre, did you come up
Uh,
with yours?
yeah, I love that we can record meetings and automatically generate its transcription. So later, if you want to search for any term that you remember that you said in this meeting, you can go and search it, and you can recall it.
Yeah, that's definitely a great one. That is for sure.
Yep. And something that's a little newer that's been really handy lately is the raise hand.
Yes.
So you can raise a hand and wait your turn, and then you don't have to feel like you're so interrupty.
Yeah. That was a great one during Microsoft Inspire, because I was in a lot of sessions where it was, oh, I see you just raised your hand, Andre.
I have
Obviously,
another.
we're filming this one in Teams. But yeah, this was a really great one because we were in these collaborative sessions that were discussion based. And obviously, it was people from all around the world logging in together at the same time. And so the raise hand feature was super helpful, just to kind of, you're not stepping on each other's toes on to speak. And the leader of the meeting could kind of like keep everyone in like organized tally of who raised their hand in what order, kind of like in a classroom, like, okay, Johnny, you raised your hand first, you get to go first. So that's a great feature. And also together mode, that's another great one.
Yep.
We used that one on Friday, with our entire company. We did a virtual happy hour, and we used together mode. It was fun to see everyone together, even though we're not together.
Oh, yep. That one has been super fun. So I'm looking forward any day now. They're coming out with the small group breakouts. So that is coming. And then once we get through small group breakouts, the roadmap that we can't share publicly yet is pretty exciting. It's at the point, Microsoft's at the point where we don't have to catch up with Zoom anymore for the consumer product, and we will be leapfrogging for the enterprise. It's really exciting to see what's coming up.
Cool. I'm excited for that.
I wish I could talk more in detail, but maybe next time.
Yeah, and now in Microsoft Teams meetings, we can have up to 49 video participants. So
That's amazing. That's really awesome.
Yeah, we were on a Teams call, 2 days ago that had 400 people on it, and it was not a Teams live meeting, it was Teams.
oh my God.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it worked. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
One thing that's really great too is now you can pop out, right? The video calls and
Oh,
the
yeah, popping
chat
out the
message.
chat. I haven't even used that yet. I'm kind of excited about that one.
Oh yeah, you have to update your system and the settings, and then close Teams and reopen it. But that's a really good one, because it was a struggle for me whenever I would go to like the chats or whatever, and it would make my video very, very, very small, and I couldn't see the screen if it was screen sharing and I was looking at a presentation. That's definitely a very helpful one. Good point on that one. And I definitely have a few that I love. One is the urgency. Have you ever used the urgency on the chat button? The exclamation point.
Oh, yep.
You can annoy someone for, it will do every 2 minutes for up to 20 minutes. It will annoy them and send them messages. Another one is the memes. Did you know you can create your own meme within Teams? There's a meme generator. That's amazing. I think that's super cool. Yeah.
I knew about the GIFs, but not about the memes.
Yeah. Yep. So I was sending some gifts yesterday. Yep. Those are always fun. So yeah, there's some great ones. And another one that I love is, unfortunately, you can only do it from your phone on Teams, but you can reply directly to that message. So that if you're talking two different conversations, you can swipe right and reply to that message so that they know that's what you're addressing your answer to. So sometimes I'll be typing on my computer and I want to reply to that message. Unfortunately, it's not available on the computer yet, but I will open my phone right there just to reply to that message, because it makes it so much easier in the flow of the conversation to avoid confusion. So that's another favorite feature of mine because it definitely makes things easier.
Yeah,
For
this is
chat.
very
Well,
useful.
and I would say, especially with having to be more flexible these days, Teams on your phone works fantastic.
Yes.
I may or may
Yes.
not have taken some long walks during some training
I
meetings.
may or may not have taken my dog out to the bathroom for a walk during some calls. So that's okay. That's okay. Not a worry. I love it. It's great. Awesome.
Another great feature is inline translations. I think Ray uses a
Oh,
lot.
I do. You're right. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
how did I not think of that? So whenever, especially on like our company page, like our fun page, when people put like just generic messages about the company or company announcements, I can just go there and translate from Portuguese to English and I don't have to copy paste. That's a fantastic one. I didn't even think of that one. You're right.
That
You're
is.
right.
Well, and that's another reason why I love how Microsoft is making everything so much more inclusive. So now it doesn't matter what language you speak, you can still understand each other.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, it's really making a big difference. We used the translator for a customer last month because somebody, I can't remember, I think they were out of France, but they didn't speak English, which I thought was strange. But they, and so we actually used the translator for them so everybody could understand and nobody missed a beat. It was amazing.
That's awesome. I love it. That's a great one. Good mention on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. I feel like we've highlighted a lot of great features and functions of, we'll call it groups of Microsoft groups, quote unquote. So let's go on to our final tell meme about it. Oh, I was just talking about this. Here's to Microsoft for giving Teams a meme generator. For sure. Cheers to
Love it.
Microsoft for that. That's
Cheers.
great. That's
Cheers.
great. I love it. All right. Final question. So, is there any functionality to be released soon that you look forward to? And kind of a second question tagging on to this one. Thinking outside of the box, what crazy functionality would you like groups to have?
So I've already given away a little bit. I can't give away too much of what's coming, but definitely looking forward to the small group breakout, especially for, these types of happy hour meetings where you have bigger meetings and you want to break out in for some actual networking. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then what was the second question? Sorry.
Thinking outside of the box. So, what crazy functionality would you love for it to have?
Let me think about that. Andre, you go.
Okay, we'll go to Andre for this first question. So, what functionality is
Oh.
going to be released soon that you look forward to?
So there were two things that I saw in Inspire that caught my attention. So the first one is like we will be able as developers to create tabs in meetings and develop new capabilities to it, like real-time capabilities to do some. I haven't tried it yet because it's not available, but I'm excited to customize some meeting experience for people.
Oh, that'll be
And I'm excited about DataFlex too, to create some apps that can scale inside Teams. Because nowadays I use SharePoint, but DataFlex it's going to be a relational database that I'm going to be able to scale to millions of people. Who knows?
awesome.
Yeah, DataFlex is pretty exciting. A couple things that came out were that, and then the extensibility with Power Apps inside Teams to really solve those problems where now the people like Andre who are actual developers and know how to code can go in and do the fancy things, and the citizen developers can go in and build some basic apps and they can do it right in Teams. So it's all going to be, it really kind of takes that whole gamut because quite frankly, I don't know that we're ever going to have enough developers like Andre. But
Yeah.
we can solve simple problems and do that through Power Apps, and you can see the power of that almost every day.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. That'll be really exciting to look forward to. And any crazy functionality outside of the box. I mean, I think I kind of said my wish list. I would love to not have to pick up my phone to reply to the right. that would be, it's not crazy outside of the box, but that's something I would love to see on the roadmap. I don't know if it is, but I would love to still just keep working on my computer. So, or on my Surface. So, yeah, that's something I would definitely love to see in the future. You guys have anything?
Well, yeah, well, and one thing as you think about it, and not even for me, but more for customers and other people, if you use the user voice through Microsoft, they listen.
Yeah.
Like, they'll listen to user voice much faster than they'll listen to somebody internal to Microsoft. I mean, they really are listening to our customers. So,
That's important.
and the more people ping things like that, the more they bubble up and then they get put at the top of the roadmap instead of the bottom of the roadmap. So that really, it's, that's something just for this whole audience. If you're going out there and if you ever use a Microsoft tool and you feel like there's something you'd like different, use user voice because they really do listen.
Yeah. Awesome. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Andre?
Yeah, I would like to have maybe voice integration with voice assistants like Alexa or Siri, and maybe I'm driving and I can say, please send a message to Ray, and then I say the message, and then it sends inside Teams, right? It would be great.
Cool.
That
Yeah.
would be amazing.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's kind of hard to come up with ones outside of the box just because there's so many great functionalities already that are available that most tools don't even have. So
Yeah.
Microsoft's obviously doing a good job. So hats off to them for that. Awesome. Awesome. Well, cool. I'm really excited. I feel like we got a lot of good insight here. I feel like we had some great conversations, and hopefully our viewers, you guys learned some new tips about groups. That's what we'll call it for now. So I just want to mention real quick again that we are supporting the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. So this is going to be quite a big tally for the end of this episode on what we have to donate, but it's okay. We are happy to support a great cause. And I also just want to mention again, check out our YouTube channel for previous episodes, and you can always reach out to us at askphh@prosperiglobal.com, and there you can send us any feedback, any content that you'd like to see, any themes, any specific questions you want us to answer. We love to hear from you, so you can always reach out to us. But I just want to say lastly, thank you again to Jen Simon and Andre Tiberio for joining us. Thank you guys. And
thank you for having me.
You enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you.
It was great. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. See you.